Hello everyone, my name is CXCD, and I made a huge boo-boo. Seems like last week I didn't get a video out, which sucks. It was a variety of reasons on why I couldn't do it, but I think the core of the issue is that I'm just really lazy. But nonetheless, I decided to organize a Q&A in my Discord server. The Discord server is linked down below if you want to join. This is completely unscripted. I have no script, and this is gonna go well. First question, why? In your opinion, who's the best villain in MLP? God, I don't know. I don't... Trixie, I guess, because she came back? I think Trixie was the most successful villain, I think. What was the best season and why? It has to be season 5, right? I mean, that season 5 is when I really got into the weeds of things, like way back then. Also, what's your origin story? How did you start YouTube? I started YouTube years ago, like 8-9 years ago, I made my first YouTube channel. That failed. I made another one. That one also, eventually, after 6 years, failed, and then I started this one, and this one so far is the most successful one. Let's hope I don't start over again. Also, what's your origin story? If you want to hear more about my origin story, I'm going to link a interview I did a few weeks back. It's going to be at the end card and in the description below. Please go watch it because that guy was really cool. What's your favorite scene from any MLP FIM episode? Well, okay, I've not watched any of MLP. I've watched like an 1/8 of the show, maybe, even less maybe. I only just make videos on it, I don't watch the show, which is kind of a little weird to say. But out of all the episodes I've watched, which is not very a lot, I have more episodes downloaded on my PC than I've actually watched. But out of the episodes I've watched up to like season 2-ish, not even the finale, just like to season 2. It has to be when the Flim Flam brothers show up with their rocking machine vibrating the ground. It's just a really memorable moment to me, I think. Would it be better if Twilight became an alicorn later than season 3? No, I don't think so, because season 3, if you don't know already, was meant to be the finale of MLP. That was it. Season 3 was supposed to be the last season until, you know, this entire thing showed up, the fandom, and decided to keep going for another 7 years, so. But no, I think Twilight becoming Alicorn was supposed to be the very end of the series, and that was it. Goes off to infinity. They had to try to keep going because MLP FIM was a massive moneymaker. What was your first exposure to MLP? I watched season 1, episode 1. Once again, if you want to hear more about this, I did do an interview. Like I said, I did an interview. Once again, link to the end card in the description. But I'll just do a quick recap of my first exposure. It was a very long time ago. I was very, very young. And I was sitting on the living room floor looking up to the big plasma TV. It was plasma back then. The big plasma TV. And on that plasma TV was the very first episode of FIM. I specifically remember Twilight having a pillow overhead and Spike having a lamp on his head. I very vividly remember that. Of course, just like any other brony, I freaking found Smile HD and cupcakes. And I mean, it just goes downhill from there. Can I have $1? No. Can I have $2? No. Can I have your soul? Wait, can I change my question? No. This is great content. No. That's not even a question. Can I have my dad back? No. What is your favorite flag? I don't know. I don't know flags. And why were you found in Alaska at 4:30 a.m. last Tuesday? Why were you there? If you were to choose one pony in Equestria to become the next Alicorn, who would you choose? It has to be Sunset Shimmer, right? Like, I don't know. It would have to be Sunset Shimmer. That's like the only person who deserves it. I mean, Starlight, I mean, sure. Maybe Starlight too, because Sunset and Starlight are like the exact same character. Opinion on G3. I mean, even the G1 creators hated G3. So, if G4 is for everyone, G3 is not. Which generation of world would you rather live in? G1, G2, G3, G4, G5? Is this even a question? Obviously G4. Why didn't CXCD go to Winnie City PonyCon? Frickin' nerd missed it. That's actually a very interesting story because it was in Chicago, I'm pretty sure, I think. And I could have went, but I didn't even realize it was happening until it was too late. What's the inspiration behind your Pony/OC? Okay, this is a fun story. On the YouTube channel I mentioned earlier, the one that failed, we record a lot of Gary's Mod videos, and in a lot of those videos, I was my OC Alpine. Alpine was made because 10 minutes before the recording, I'm like, I need to make an OC, I need to make an OC. So I just quickly whipped her up, and it just stuck around for like 7 years. And if you want to know why Alpine's missing a leg, it's because I had a freaking nightmare about losing my own leg. It wasn't like the process of losing it, it was like the immediate aftermath of losing it. It was almost traumatic. And I told my friend Lai about this nightmare I had, and then Lai, I guess, like torture me because she's insane, started drawing my OC without a leg. I don't know. So now my OC doesn't have a leg. There's no like philosophical reason behind it. That's the entire story of my OC. I've not done anything with her. And no, she was not based off the Ukraine flag. I don't think anything's wrong with Ukraine. I'm very much on their side. fuck Russia, but my OC has nothing to do with the Ukraine flag. How would you treat your favorite pony if she was a guest in your house? Okay, first of all, how do you know it's a she? Second of all, I don't know. What a weird question. I don't know. I'd treat her how to shoot my rifle. I don't know. What would have to happen for the prime of the Brony family to return, the 2012-2014 era? I genuinely think for the fandom to return in the way it did in 2012, 2014. We need a better show. I think if you make a show with good, compelling writing and good animation, they will come back. Right now, G5 is kind of missing both of them. They have their moments, like the movie had great writing and animation. A few episodes of G5, Make Your Mark, has good animation, good writing, but it's just so inconsistent. People join the fandom because FIM Season 1 was well animated and well written, okay? People are not joining the fandom because G5 is poorly animated and poorly written. Have you ever considered doing videos about fandoms other than MLP? Yes. And coming from Frosty Blue Star, no, not Just Dance. I actually tried doing a FNAF video. I just got done watching the movie and I was gonna do a FNAF video, but midway through the recording I realized I need a script, and I just never finished it. I actually have an entire script written about Minecraft Bedrock versus Java that I'll do eventually. I don't know when I'll finish. I don't know when I'll do it, but I also had a Game Boy video in the works, but because I broke the monitor, it was severely set back. Will my ex-boyfriend ever pay me back? No. Realistically, what type of creature in the MLP universe would you be? Not just the ponies. What do you mean realistically? This is a cartoon pastel horse magic show. I don't know realistically. I can't answer. I'd be a mosquito. What was your favorite vacation or vacation spot you can remember? I want to go see Elvis Presley's house. That was cool. Do you think... Why is Discord asking me questions? Do you think becoming an alicorn changes a pony's genetic makeup and that's why Fleurheart is an alicorn? Or do you think she's destined for something huge that has earned her rights early? Also, what if the sparkle horses were cats? Imagine. I do actually like, there's a popular theory that goes around that in the season 3 finale, when they do that like magic spell, like, and then Twilight like disappears with a burning hole in the ground. There's a theory that she actually died there. I really like that theory. The theory goes that she died there. She actually got blown apart by magic, and in order to turn into alicorn, they had to go between the area between life and death to like be reborn or reconstructed into an alicorn. I really like that theory because that suggests that the other elements of Harmony literally killed Twilight. About Fleurheart, I don't know. Fleurheart is such a mystery that any spin-off would be great about her. I don't know. Her personality is a complete mystery because she's literally a toddler. I don't know. And also, sparkle horses were cats. How did you get into MLP? Absolutely the fandom. I loved listening to audiobooks about past sins. I loved the music, like Wooden Toaster. It was definitely the fandom that kept me going. Because like if I watched Barbie back then, you know, there's no fandom around that. It was definitely the Brony fandom that kept me going. Who's your favorite pet out of the main 6? Obviously that guy right there. How was your time running from the time police / time mafia / being stuck outside of time? I refuse to answer that question. And do you have a giant collection of old technology? And if so, what are some of your highlights? You want to see some of my old technology? Come with me, would ya? You want to see my collection of old things? I'll show you my collection of old things. Here's most of my consoles. I got 360, Series S, PS4, PS3. I probably play the 360 the most just because I can't get an output to my capture card out of that thing. This is a broken iPod, don't worry about it. But I do have an iPod mini over here. As you can see, I do have quite a few things. I got a 3DS. I have a horrific condition Samsung. My 3GS that I use for vacation photos. I have an iPod. I think this is an iPod 2nd generation. Nano 3rd gen that's dying. Another iPod 2nd generation. And I do have the 6th and 7th generation iPad Nanos down there. I use my 4S for games. I have 2 iPads right there. This is the iPod I use the most, is the iPod mini. Just because I really like its form factor. Down here I have a Polaroid that I use for vacation photos once again. Then here I have a Canon AE1 right here. Beautiful. Actually, fun fact, the very first version of the iPhone like camera button came from this model of camera. I got a keyboard I absolutely stole from somebody. I got a box full of game controllers in my closet. Over here I have my Dreamcast that I'll set up eventually one of these days. There's the remnants of a 360 back there. Up here I got Xbox One I stole from somebody again, a PS1, and then I have a PS2 Slim. That's right, you guys are gonna see downstairs. This is where I record my videos. The set's not exactly done yet, despite how it looks. We do have a lot of extra junk over here that will eventually get sorted over yet. I have a cassette player that still has Lemon Demon in it. I got the same model of typewriter that the Unabomber used. Old-timey radio, old flute, a very expensive Walkman, and this record player. I don't actually listen to any of these vinyls down here. This is simply just set dressing. Another old-timey radio. Big Chunka CRT. This is an old computer that actually came from my high school. I used it in a video once. It didn't work, so I gave up on it, and now it's just sitting here forever since. Here is gonna be eventually my entertainment area. See, it's in a bit of disarray right now, but you know, it will eventually look good. I got a Wii there, N64, and around here somewhere, I'm not sure where, there is a fat PS2. I don't know where I put it. It's around here somewhere. Obviously my NES, my broken, damaged Game Boy. This TV right here is, I have a behind the scenes video on this TV and the making of it. But basically, I bought the cabinet. The TV inside was completely busted, so instead I just took it off and put a newer CRT in there instead. And actually that TV is probably one of the greatest, like I Googled it. This model of CRT is one of the best CRTs on the market, so that's lucky of me, I suppose. Back here in the depths, I have this old stamp machine that sat on my desk for a very long time, but I gave up. Here's an old keyboard from 1995, I think, maybe a little later than that. I used that as my main keyboard for a very long time, but it's membrane, so I eventually got sick of it. Old monitor, a bunch of vinyls that I don't use. None of them are good. They're all really, really, really old. Like I'm talking 1940s old. I think that's probably about it for here. I'm sure I could probably scrounge around more. I'm not sure. That's the gist of it, I suppose. Back to the studio. How does it feel to be an MLP-based YouTuber nowadays? Well, it's first of all based. Second of all, it's definitely a feeling of burning embers, like the very last recollections of the entire fandom, where this is not gonna last forever, and I know that. Unless Hasbro gets their shit together, I think the fandom will just eventually fade out. It definitely feels like I'm sitting at the edge of time, looking at just like destruction unfolding in front of me. It sucks. Out of every fandom I could have chosen, I genuinely think MLP is one of the worst ones I could have chosen, because it's gonna fade unless Hasbro steps in and does something, genuinely. Favorite song from the show? It changes a lot. A lot of MLP songs has a, like drums behind it that I just really like. So a lot of songs with drums, I'm just instantly there. Like, You'll Do Your Part has a drum moment, or it's music ASMR. I was really into Flim Flam Cider song for a little while. This Day Aria is just objectively the best song. Maybe not my favorite, but just objectively the best. The Forever Ever Free song from the Equestria Girls. I love a good villain song. And oh my god, some of my favorite songs outside of MLP are just villain songs about bad people, like I Can't Decide, Community Gardens, Kiss Me Son of God. Those are all just like psychopathic songs. I just love them. What is the best part of the MLP fandom? I would love to see a wholesome answer. The porn. Genuinely, I'm not a music nerd, but I just love music. I don't know, I can't read a note sheet. I don't know, like, half times and quarter, whatever the hell. But I genuinely love songs. I have an entire collection. I have a collection of cassettes because I love music so much, right? All Lemon Demon, and then it's all Lemon Demon. And then Sand and Other Mysteries and Titanic Rising. I just love brony music. I love any music, so that's my answer. What do you think is the future of MLP after 2025, when Tell Your Tale is gonna end? Realistically, that's the end of MLP. Hasbro's in a really tough spot right now with money-wise. I think that they already have all these episodes ready in the backlog. They post these episodes. That's the end of MLP. Logically, it'll be Generation 6. But what I think most people want is a return to G4. I don't want them to continue G4. I want them to do spin-off shows. Like, what happened to Flurry Heart? How did Starlight become the way she was outside of Heartbreak? I don't know. I want to see the progression of Sunset Shimmer outside of the comics, right? I want to see an animated version of that. Yeah, so what I personally hope for is spin-offs of G4. What's most likely to happen is the cancellation of MLP altogether, and logically it'd be G6. What is your favorite archetype of a villain in media? Archetype? Hold on, I need to Google what that word means. I'm not smart. A lot of people think I'm smart. I'm just not. Archetype, a very typical example of a certain person or thing. I don't think I can answer that question. Archetype. What's synonyms? Synonyms. Stereotype. What's your favorite stereotype? It's definitely the villain turned friend dynamic. I think a lot of people hate that. I think a lot of people hated when Sunset Shimmer became a friend. I think a lot of people really hated when Starlight became a friend. But honestly, it's one of my favorite ones. Because especially when villains become friends, you get to hear a lot of the reason behind their motivations, right? Like, oh, I did this because of that. I did this because I'm not a bad person. I just thought this would work, you know? That kind of thing. I really like those archetypes. I don't know if I'm using that word right. Alicorn Twy, based or cringe decision by Hasbro. Anyone who's over the age of 11, I'll decipher what that means. Alicorn Twy, a good or bad decision by Hasbro. Good. A lot of people hated it, don't get me wrong. A lot of people really hated Alicorn Twilight, but at the end of the day, you couldn't just keep doing the exact same thing over and over again for an infinite amount of time, right? There's only so many episodes you can make of where Twilight's just a student. Like, she has to graduate at some point. And a lot of TV shows do stuff like that, where it's just forever and ever, the exact same thing happens forever, right? But MLP is very different about that because things change and things happen. The CMC eventually get the cutie marks. Twilight's home is destroyed. MLP is very unique in that it does things like that. And so Alicorn Twilight, things had to change. You can't just do the same thing forever. Well, I guess it's the end. Like I said, end card, description, there's a really cool interview you should go check out. Discord server is also down below. If you're gonna do any of those things, watch the video, join the Discord server. The one you should do the most is subscribe. Anyways, goodbye.
I bite at the hand that feeds me, slap at the face that eats me. Some kind of animal cannibal made impressions on me.